We get prepared for our blessings first. We get conditioned to receive our blessings first. Without the confidence, we will only ruin it. We will only spoil it. We will only continue to plague ourselves with the same discontent, setbacks, burdens, more burdens, so many burdens. How powerful we are is something scary to realize. Knowing that you have so much power, it can shock you. Knowing that a simple word, a gesture, the entertaining of a thought or a feeling, emotion, carries so much force, causation, filled with so much kinetic energy to bring result and consequence right in front of you. But when we are filled with fear behind this, we run away from it and we say, no, I didn't do that. I didn't create that. But yes, I am a victim. I am a victim. This time around, Aquarius Collective, we ought to become a council of gods. To become a council of gods, you're going to have to acknowledge that you are one. And acknowledging that you are one, there's no excuses. And knowing that we are creators. We create and co-create at will. And the mess that we made, we did it. We created it. That's where the power is at. There are many distractions to get past with Venus. Many a distraction. And the number 9 vibration at the South Node is going to assist us in coming out of those spells. Seeing reality for what it really is. North Node Pisces, 7 vibration, the Sage, dissolving the form of all things, seeing the reality behind all things that are formed. Oh yeah. It's a different frequency. It's a different plane. It's a different reality. And filling in it, it feels just like what you've been going through. The cognitive dissonance, the confusion, coming out of the drunkenness, getting sober again. Yeah. It's a preparation. It's a preparation. Help the messengers in the same way that you help the artists. Help the messengers in the same way that you help the artists. I say it again, because one day you'll get it. Help the messengers in the same way that you would help the artists. That is when we become powerful again. The new timeline is not just something that just appears. As above, so below. The new timeline requires new processes to be established, infrastructure to be established. No different than a construction site. And this is coming from, an 18-year blue collar union carpenter, myself, car mechanic too, it's the way that I think, so it's a way that I'm best able to give you a sincere message, is through what I relate to. And the old timeline is an old site that no longer has sustainability for where we as a collective have to continue the theme the the story of God's kingdom, the story of the human family. They can't carry on in the same context. That construction site is over. So we had to find a whole new land to plot this design upon. That's what's significant about Shango at Taurus. Taurus represents the earth, the mud, the clay, the ground, where everything begins, right on the ground. That's the earth. You pay obeisance, you pour water to the earth. That's where it starts. That's where our feet, Pisces, that's where it makes contact. When there's a new beginning to dissolve, or an old story to dissolve, it ends at Pisces and it begins at Pisces, because that's the feet. The feet is where we make contact to the earth, where we return to, and also where we came from. Pisces. Saturn is moving the timeline of our character, our karma, through Pisces, dissolving all of these past timeline themes. The era of Venus, Lucifer, wild and crazy females, feminism, liberalism, that story's over. It's over. Ogun takes the crown now through the North Node Aries that we just finished. Mars, divine masculine, the god of war. It's his story now. And since 2025, we all are bearing witness to this, that the energies are not like before. The energies of today doesn't care about your feelings, your crying tears. Since 2025, we have been seeing shock after shock after shock of truth that nobody can deny or run away from. Ogun is in charge now, the god of war, truth, justice, descended from the hill in fire and blood. Understand, fire purges and purifies. It also burns in infamy. Nobody likes me because I'm real, because I'm authentic, because I'm holding the truth. Represent justice, not talking about myself, but the principle that we all have potential to represent. Understand? Now, this new site, it has to be leveled out, cleared out. Ever since Uranus has been in Taurus, it's been doing exactly that. Knocking down infrastructures that we took confidence in, pulverizing systems that we put all our faith in. Because Shango is using earthquakes and volcanoes to flatten this land out, to change the landscape, to purify it, to start it back from zero. When that molten lava explodes, which is through Uranus, out of the volcano at Taurus, that lava covers up everything that you thought would last forever. And it turns into nothing but an ancient relic to ponder over. It burns away. It changes the landscape. The earthquake does the same thing. It swallows whole entire systems under the earth, changing the course of rivers, channels, leveling the ground, bringing what was up down to bringing what was down up in the earth. So we're starting at a new slate of land, a new slate of earth, a new plot. And upon that, the new timeline is being structured in phases. That's what we've been going through. And feeling the disconnect from the reality is simply because we're not able to make sense of the plot, the blueprint. Shango through the square to Leo is going to bring some visibility to certain details that allows us to find a little more certainty in where we're at and what we're doing. Oh, I see now. There's a line of bricks right there. There's a line of blocks. Oh, okay, the iron workers are over there putting up the, the first trusses and, the first infrastructure of what's going to be built over there. All right. The block layers are over there laying the wall perimeter. I'm starting to see what this is. Okay, they're laying the pillars. They're pouring concrete. Oh, I get it. Okay, I see what this is going to be. So there's no need for the panic. No need for the panic. It takes time. But it's starting from new. It's starting from new. And when you bring in new structure, new infrastructure, you bring in new equipment, right? You bring in new technology. I'm going to explain these details as I go throughout this discourse. But in a nutshell, what I'm saying is anything new has to be tested. Anything new has to be tested. You put in a new alternator, you got to start the car to see if it does what it's supposed to do. You take the radiator out, you put the coolant back in the block, you got to start it up, let it run to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. Check for leaks. Check the water hose. Check the temperature. Anything that you build or create, you have to test. Anything that's supposed to bear weight, load, resistance, you have to test. And Chiron essentially is the zenith of what's being tested with us in our identity through various means. Cancer Mars, your emotional threshold for security, emotional security, that has you to sign up for self-defeating purposes in the shadow number 6. Pisces, the shadow number 6. Sacrificing yourself, giving, serving. And now you're full of resentment for doing what nobody even asked you to do. You want to feel love so bad. You want to feel emotionally validated, connected, emotionally secure for grooming someone, taking care of someone, doctoring someone back to health, mothering someone, popping a titty in the mouth. But you're doing it in self-defeating ways. Number 6 shadow. Number 6 shadow. Look up the things I say. Don't just hear what I'm saying. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Write it down. What the fuck is he talking about? Shadow number 6. Look it up. Numerology. Come on. Don't be fucking stupid, please. I beg. Let the message bless you by actually looking into these things. Numerology 6. Self-sacrificing. Always giving. Oh, I'll do it. Oh, no problem. I'll give you the last that I got. And you think it's so noble of you. So righteous. And then you take that resentment and you go somewhere else and talk somebody else's ears off, crying over your self-sabotage. Let's really get to the root. Let's get to the bottom of this. Listen, I don't come with the sparkles, the glitter, a bunch of pretty women and jewelry and all this other stuff. If that's what it takes for you to listen to a message, we have a sad situation. When will you come out of that sickness where you can't receive a message unless there's entertainment attached to it? Like your fucking children. Like get a grip. Get a fucking grip. What are we doing? This process is working itself out. And Shango Uranus is going to make some decisions with Taurus that leads to second house fulfillment, stability, financial outlook, which really, I should use the word provision that leads to stability. And we have to be careful with that word provision, because provision does not just mean money. And this is why I continue to emphasize, save your soul, save your life, save your mind, save your intelligence. Stop listening to females. Stop listening to females interpret things for you. If you keep listening to how females interpret things to you, you're gonna be ass backwards in how you're interpreting things. Most of them cannot get past money as provision. You got to stop listening to females. Second house is about resources and provision, which does not have its limitation in money. God can provide for you in your life, but it doesn't mean that, oh, he's going to give you a pour out of money. No, he's going to give you provision. He's going to provide for you. And you sitting your dumb ass up here thinking that it only means money, overlooking all the provision that God is blessing you with. So you walk around ungrateful because you was expecting money, but yet you have everything you need. All your needs are met. The mind is constricted by the interpretation of females since the Obama era. Since the Obama era, America has been taken over by females. Everybody thinks like their mothers and sisters. Everybody thinks like females. Everybody is leaning to the sentiment of feminists and liberals. And that is why the nation has become so fucking dumb. That's why this country has become so ass backwards, because everybody thinks like teenage females. Because the feminists and the liberal females, they do not think past the age of 14 years old. They think like 14-year-olds. I do not mean this for all women. I do not mean this for all females. If you need somebody to tell you that and hold your hand, I'm sorry. I'm not good at coddling grown people that should already understand that. That's your problem. We got some serious catching up to do, because we're still crippled from all of that. That's why we're having a hard time adjusting. The process is taking place. Do we understand what's happening? Full moon Leo. The attempts to shine through a dead corpse, a dead story, a story that has already ended. It now comes to full realization that this is the case. This is not where my light is meant to be. So now it's time to align with the new story. What's happening right now? I want this to be about, let me connect with you on where there seems to be a sense of void, where it seems like your life has turned into a story that you just can't understand. You get up every day and you go through the same steps, the same formula, but your soul doesn't seem to be connected to it. It's the food that you have to eat, but you can't taste. There's no flavor in it. There's no seasoning. Every day you feel that who you are is somebody that you left behind. But who you're supposed to be at this point is not yet defined. It's not clarified. Where's the shape? Where's the form? It's foggy. I'm doing all I can, giving all the effort, but it's not giving back. Stalemate, stalemate. You reach over, the life that you have, it's like a cold dead body laying next to you. Like, yo, you good? What happened? Wake up. You're not warm anymore. So, let me help you to understand what's happening. First of all, Taurus Uranus is holding the shift of time. The timeline that relates to your sense of stability. The outer planets hold the timelines, right? Let's understand. The outer planets hold the timelines. Saturn, for example, is holding a timeline of what you're dissolving. Your karmic timeline. And the karmic timeline includes the development of your character as it needs to progress. The training of the character. Strength training. Saturn gets you ready for every obstacle course that is ahead of you. Saturn is what prepares you for the arena of every timeline. Before you go to the arena, there is much training, conditioning, exercise. And you can't meet the target of the conditioning and fitness goals or models without extensive training, discipline, self-restraint, obedience, and compliance to details. You have to rise to the character that makes you fit, conditioned, qualified, having the authority to reap the benefits and rewards of the arena, to take victory in the arena. With the timeline that we're in, what that looks like is finishing up subconscious wars, subconscious battles that comes and stems from the blood and generational curses from previous times. We have to clean it up. We have to unpack it. We got to address it this time. We can't just ignore it, pack it away, smoke a cigarette, smoke a blunt, have a drink, go find a couple of bitches to fuck real quick. All that's over. We're at frequencies where we now have to deal with our problems, where we have to deal with curses, because I, self-lord and master, we are becoming God. The image and likeness of God, the vicegerent of God. We are becoming that again. So we can't pass the buck. We have to show and prove authority and power over our life, where it becomes an intentional creation. So whoever left it in the blood, you got to clean it up. And part of the lesson is to speak up and not condone. When you see your neighbor, your brother or your sister, doing things that puts it in the blood, the environment, the atmosphere, the culture, you will get active now, because you now understand that it's not just them that has to clean it up. You got to help clean it up too, because you watch them do it. This is a reality where if somebody puts trash down, you can't just say, oh, that person put down trash. Why didn't you tell them to pick the trash up? Now you got to do it because you watched them do it. Enjoying what is good, forbid what is, enjoying what is right, forbid what is wrong. Collectivism. Aquarius, water bearers. So while this is being cleaned up, we cannot add behaviors, lifestyles, situations, circumstances that further contaminates the site of purification, the site of healing. Saturn is working. It's addressing your character. It's addressing how you continue to react to what's in the blood. Making sure that you pay full acknowledgement to what is in the blood, of what you put in there and those before you put in there. Are you learning yet? Certain relationships, certain opportunities, certain positions, things that satisfy your ego, it will become a simple distraction to the work that must be done. So it feels this way while we wait. And you're not supposed to wait in vain, just standing there twiddling your thumbs. You're supposed to understand what's happening so that you could get actively involved, so that you can stay present and involved in the process. Not thinking it doesn't include you, because it does. Are you paying attention? Are you doing it? Are you working? At Aries, we're learning resilience. We're learning resilience. At that axis of Aries and Libra, which we just learned in the last North Node, South Node transit, we learned about codependency. We learned about the twin flame dynamic of being a runner or being a chaser, the narcissist and the codependent. We learned that the narcissist and the codependent are equals. They are one and the same in different degrees. They're the same person, different degrees. One is hot, one is cold. One is running, one is chasing. One blocks out the love of others, and one won't love theirself. One oppresses others, and one oppresses theirself. One cheats others, and one cheats theirself. They are the same person. At our Aries axis, point of axis, Chiron has been there teaching us resilience to the authentic identity, teaching us how to release the impulse of guilt, shame, fear, doubt, low self-esteem. Because when we are subject to such things, we become oppressive, we become abusive, we become tyrants, we become narcissistic, controlling, dominating. We misuse the Aries consciousness, the Aries algorithm of spirit. We use it to be a tyrant when we haven't healed those impulses. Chiron is releasing those dark forces, those dark energies from Aries, so that Ogun is effective as an algorithm of spirit in creating, leading, initiating, breaking through, delivering Ogun into the world, into the life, into society, for the people, serving the people in a way that is healthy, productive, constructive, initiating good. At Libra, we were learning to hear our own opinion, to hear our own thoughts. We were learning to have discernment, separating noise. Jupiter and Gemini was assisting us in finding the difference between public opinion and what your heart says. In the past timeline, we were too programmed by pretty girls on cameras. Females who were putting noise into the atmosphere of how you should dress, how you should behave, how you should think, how you should exist, who you should criticize this way or who you should criticize as being that way, who's broke, who's dusty, who has value and who doesn't. What's the right way in the relationship and what's the wrong way in the relationship? But when you follow the trail to their example, they do not have the evidence, they do not have the proof that what they are saying has any type of significance. Referencing everything back to a college campus where they were brainwashed as liberals, contaminating the world with their misunderstandings. And we're learning to break free from the mindset of young delusional females. Feminists, liberals, people whose mind are contaminated by Rothschild's ideals, contaminated by the artful deceptions of Lucifer through Venus, false light, walking away, turning our backs on false light, and most of it came from females. The narratives that plagued the family, that alienated fathers and men. The narratives that moved through society, that alienated and vilified men. In doing so with the masculine principle, it alienated and vilified Saturn. The contribution of Saturn, the algorithm of Saturn, the benefit of Saturn, the support of Saturn, the strength, discipline, order of Saturn. Everything of Saturn that gives to the world the infrastructure, the strength, the discipline, the obedience, the integrity, good character. Every gift and blessing that comes from Saturn was restricted from us because of females. We are coming out of that witchcraft, that magic, that spell, through the divine masculine. At our Libra algorithm in our chart, we've been selling our opinions, selling our thoughts, selling our identity, selling our souls, so that we can feel like we belong, so that we feel safe behind the people's opinion, the people's ideas, the people's thoughts, the crowd, the comment section in social media. We want to feel like they are not against us, or we are not against them, that we have the support of the social media audience. The comment section is on my side. The comment section is supporting me. The comment section is clapping for me. All the while, the comment section is leading you straight to the hellfire. The comment section has you reliving the curses, perpetuating the curses, expanding the curses, feeding the curses over and over again. And it's females behind it as usual. South Node Libra ended that illusion over the world. Feminism is fallen, liberalism is fallen. Look at Doge, look at You Said, look at Big Balls, Elon Musk, executive orders of Donald Trump, DEI, all these things that was behind that being upheld has fallen down. It is dead. It's fucking dust. The discontent we feel is part of cognitive dissonance, because we put confidence, we put lean, we put crutch on all of these things that are fallen, all these things that fell. Look at Book of Sirach, Sirach, chapter 25, verse 17 to 26. It was taken out of the holy text for a reason. It was taken out for a reason. Book of Sirach 25, 17 to 26. It was taken out for a reason. That's South Node Libra. We're dealing with the aftermath of Lucifer's downfall. Because we were addicted to Lucifer. We were under Lucifer's spell. We were under his witchcraft, his sorcery. We were under his trick, his beguile, his artful illusion over life. And he could only accomplish it through women. He cannot do so through Adam. He could do so through Eve, as he did in the beginning. And we're recovering from that spell. So you're walking around in the fog. You're drunken. You don't know where is straight and where is up, where is down, where is back, where is forward. You don't know anything. This is how long we have been in the spell. Since the Obama era. When Venus and Pluto went direct motion out of Sagittarius into Capricorn. 2008. When this all began. The reign of Lucifer. The heavens have a war. And our minds are part of the heavens. And Cancer, there's an insecurity with all of us. And what it says is that I don't feel emotionally safe. I feel threatened. Because I don't have a hiding place. I don't have a community that I feel is backing me. Ever since I was awakened, ever since I seen what was really happening, I found myself by myself. I found myself alone. I found myself isolated. Everything that I had to walk away from was hiding me. It was covering me. It was comforting me. It kept me covered in the bliss of ignorance. But now that I see that I'm exposed and I feel uncomfortable, I feel naked, I feel afraid. Well, this is the same crisis of when Adam and Eve were in the garden and Eve took of the fruit. And what happened when Eve took of the fruit? When she took of the fruit, they both realized that they were naked. This is the same thing with Cancer Mars. You're both realizing that you're naked now that you have come out of that spell. You're seeing now that you're naked. And it's because of what you have done behind you. I'm exposed. I'm uncovered. I don't have something or someone to hide behind. And this is teaching us to develop a healthy technology for our vulnerabilities. Mars is the god of technology. Ogun, the god of war, is the god of technology. He is at Cancer, and he's helping you to come up with the technology for the emotional infrastructure within self, the inner child, so that you yourself can provide advocacy in a healthy means, in a healthy way, from healthy sources. And what technology of that? It is culture. It is culture. The reconstruction of culture, the recreation of culture. And this has to come through Aries and Scorpio. Scorpio is the industry, the cosmic industry of resilience, regeneration, resurrection, reformation. Scorpio, since 2024, early 2024, has been an emphasized point of growth and development. And it still is. As you see, Juno, Vesta, Black Moon Lilith will soon be entering Scorpio. Pallas Athena went 3 times through Scorpio. Scorpio is quite significant aspect of Mars relating to water at Cancer. Resilience through healthy means, without codependence, without taking your traumas and your dramas, your frustrations, your emotional ills to a pretty face on the internet who's telling you how to process it. A pretty face on the internet, a big butt on the internet who's telling you how to think.
No, man, for what? Y'all better be glad I ain't no hoe shit, cause I put these niggas.
You guys were mad about that one. You guys acted like I made that video. First of all, I just like to address a couple things. One, I'm not kink shaming anybody. If you want to get pissed on, you want to get pissed on. I don't. I'm not judging you. We listen and we don't judge. You're mad at me because your favorite coach, life coach, likes to get pissed on. What did I do? A lot of you said, well, if that's her husband, it is what it is, but that wasn't her husband in the video, so. Number 3, this isn't about booty eating, grocery shopping, or anything of the sort. This was to show you how she's...
May I say something to you to give you a true knowledge of yourself and life, so that the same glory and success attained by other men who understand themselves may be yours? Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor of the knowledge of himself, he becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man in lacking the knowledge that man is used to beautify the world and produce all that he needs for his happiness and civilization. Look the world over, and whatever you see in it that is pleasing to man, contributing to man's comfort, to his needs and to his satisfaction, it is but the work of man. Man blessed with the knowledge of himself and the understanding of all things around him. If you are able to live with the knowledge of yourself and with the greater knowledge of nature, you must know what is good and what is not. You must know what is finite. You must know that which is material, physical, and otherwise is at your disposal to create or otherwise use. If we leave America and go over to the east to Japan, they will be telling their fellow citizens of Japan of the wonderful accomplishments of the Japanese people, proving that man is moving onward as time moves on. But you have hated yourselves as you have done in previous years. You have shown malice, prejudice, and hate to each other. And the result is that while other races have made progress, while India has made progress towards nationalism, while Ireland has made progress towards republicanism, while the whole world has made progress in man's accomplishments, you still stand fighting yourselves, dishonoring yourselves, showing no disposition toward that higher life so that you will be abundantly blessed. So reflect and think that you were created for some purpose other than exhibiting malice toward your neighbor or fellow men of your own race. What a pity it is that we cannot stand united without a written law. There is no written law compelling other races to stand together. They are brought together by the gentle touch of nature. The unwritten law of nature causes them to stand together on all occasions. So wheresoever you find them in the field, that one gentle touch of nature causes them to stand together, if need be, die together. But with a black man, you can preach to him from the pulpits. You lecture from the platforms, from the byways and the hedges. The spirit of cooperation, but he will not cooperate. You talk to him gently, you try talking harshly to him, he still will not cooperate. The result is that he falls prey to those who understand themselves and walk through the world making you their serfs and slaves.
Me and Randolph had to handle the bitch. Why? Because she thought she was being slick in person, and then the femininity coach, she teaches women how to be feminine, started bucking up and talking like this and saying bitch back, and we was all fighting.
Now, Kita is the other one in this situation who is also currently unemployed. The same thing applies with her. How long did you think you could carry on the way you were carrying on at work and that you would still have a job? It's super interesting for me now to see Kita, throwing a fit about how she didn't get paid. But the truth is this, the same way that you felt as though y'all did not owe me basic human respect in my face, or at the very least, to just do
You got this young woman talking about how she expects basic respect. But full stop, pause. Pause. Your shorts Look at your shorts, ma. I'm not gonna dare to be disrespectful, because nothing warrants disrespect to a person. I will speak undressed to the collective, but to an individual, I will respect every individual. Understand? She's an individual, so I'm gonna respect. But here's a point I want to make that it's not specific to her, but she happens to provide an example of a point, which is you should give yourself what you expect others to give you. You should exemplify the values that you expect others to honor you by or according to. Your shorts is talking louder than your mouth. Your attire says more than your words could ever say. So nothing coming out of your mouth can even be heard when let me say when we misrepresent ourselves so blatantly. This is what we as human beings do. Let me put it like that, okay? Because none of us are excused or exempt from this contradiction. The transits that we're dealing with, we're trying to get to the core of how we are the ones who create and recreate the drama that we're fighting off, that we're exerting energy on, these expenses to the soul. And we're trying to get that mirror turned back on itself to see, hey, it's you. Nobody else is doing this. All this makeup and wigs and all these different things, the self-hatred it's glaring. It's loud.
Who taught you, please, who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
The contradictions are ongoing. It's constant. It's accelerated. And we have to keep testing our systems to see if we can handle the load of the blessing ahead. Are we going to resort back to these same behaviors, these same practices, spoiling the blessing that's being prepared for us? This, what I'm explaining, is not just for black people, but please, let us be an example to all people. Let all of us learn from each other collectively, as we all have equal shares, equal portion in the burdens that we carry, in the vices that we contribute, in the faults that we have, the shortcomings, the imperfections. We all contribute to this. This is just my transparency about who I am and where I come from and what we do. It's my transparency. We're going through a healing process and we're demanding, oh, I want this to change. I want that to change. I want a better life. Do you really? But the contradiction is, look at what you're showing you want for yourself every day. What you're preferring. The dog that returns to its vomit. The dog that returns to its vomit.
You must acquire an understanding of yourselves. Look around you. See the smiling pictures of nature. the beautiful hedges, the wonderful mountains, the wonderful vegetation all around. But because of your disposition to each other, you live in suffering, in want, in penury, and in debt. You lack the gentle touch of nature, love for each other. You hate yourselves. Black men, and what is wrong with you? Why have you no affection for yourselves? Could I hope to see you living among yourselves as the people I've spoken of? Living in charity, love, and in sympathy with each other? It can be done. I wonder if you will adapt that course. Isn't it easier to enjoy prosperity than to live in ignorance and darkness? Why select the works out of nature? Nature never gave pain, suffering, and death to the world. It was man himself who selected death, pain, and sorrow. I wonder if I cannot inspire you to select between good and evil. Let me impress upon you once again that whatsoever your hardships may be, whatsoever your difficulties in life, they are your own selection. And so if you encourage them, if you husband them and take them to your bosom, they will abide with you. Nature will not take them away from you as Mother Nature did not give them to you. She is not responsible for your sorrows. Mother Nature represents all that is beautiful. She gave you the highest personality in the realm divine. Your sorrows are your own. If you want joy, if you want sunshine, it is before you abundantly in nature. I made a selection of sunshine, the beautiful sunshine. I made a selection to laugh at the moon, to laugh at the stars, and sing with the birds of the forest and of the wilderness, to join in the rhythmic music of the winds that sing from east to west and from north to south. Had I selected sorrow, I would have been dead a long time ago, and been without that which would send me into the presence of the divine, because I would have lived not with the knowledge that is divine. We must acquire the higher knowledge of life. Black men and black women, will you get the knowledge that the white man has that causes him to be leaders and masters in the world? They are not gods with a peculiar source for understanding the world around them. They have only given expression to the knowledge of their humanity and been able to use and conquer all to their satisfaction and glory. And that is why they are always greater than you in every community that you find them. Isn't it strange that wheresoever the white man is found, he takes precedence over you? Why is that so? Answer that for yourselves, black men and black women. Wheresoever you come in contact with the white man, you always have to bow down in defeat before him. Whether it be in England, in France, or in America, you always have to go down to the white man, and yet he has 2 eyes, 2 feet, 2 hands, same passions, same senses and feelings as you have. Your feet are not put on opposite sides, nor your hands turned around the other way. But it's because you fail to use your will, your knowledge, and your mental faculties to the point where you will enjoy life around you. I'm only here and not in the gutters and in the pond of despair because I use my intelligence. And I swear that no man alive shall ever use his intelligence in understanding the works of nature more than I. I shall rise as high as he ascends. I shall meet him on the same platform of mental equality and fight him till thy kingdom come, because nature created us equal. I want you to make up your mind as I've made up my mind years ago. Make up your mind that you will rise to the knowledge of your soul. Because of your ignorance, you cannot understand and decide between good and evil. You don't know whether you're doing right or wrong. With a greater knowledge of life, you're able to appreciate all things around you. I'm able to gather you here because I understand you. Understand your neighbor, your wife, your children, and you will be able to live in harmony with each other and get the best out of life.
The curses that we carry in the blood, the behaviors that come from those curses, is perpetual and is continuously revolving over and over again. And a lot of it has to do with where we cope, how we cope, where we go with our Cancer, Mars, impulse and frustrations, where we go to find advocacy, where we get advice from. And this is the crisis between South Node Libra and Cancer, Mars. And all of it has to do with the curses we inherited from our mothers and from feminists and liberals of society. What we get from the toxicity of females. In America, we have a serious crisis of every way that we think and process feelings, thoughts, opinions, and everything else is based on the female. We get it from the female. We get it from the mothers. This is a country where single parenting has programmed all of the children. Majority of the children have been programmed by single parenting, the mother. No input from the father. This is a country where females dominate the thought process, dominate the consciousness, the culture in and of itself. And these are the heroes that they get advice from. These are the heroes that they seek out to entertain them, but not teach them. You just seen footage of people who have a popular show giving out relationship advice, love advice. These are people who are registered counselors, registered therapists. But yet you see that college education does not save you from bad character. It does not save you from the curse of not having been raised by a father. It does not save you. Yes, this is a serious issue within the black community. However, as I emphasized before, black people of America is what drives culture of America. And from America, culture influences the world. That is how it has always been, and I can't foresee it being any other way. Maybe I will be proven wrong one day. This is where it starts at. They don't want real advice. They don't want real guidance. They want entertainment. Because the people, the sons, the brothers, the young men, they carry the same disease as their mothers. They carry the same sickness as their mothers. They don't want real advice. They don't want real wisdom. They don't want understanding. They want to be entertained. They want to laugh. They want to giggle. They want somebody to help them to remain enabled and empowered to indulge in their vices, their sins, their iniquities, the same behaviors and habits that keep shame upon them, burden upon their back, debt, curses, division, animosity, family courts. 6, the goddess, is supposed to be a person that the community looks to for advice and femininity, as she calls herself a femininity coach. Without taking any personal strikes on her, which I think would be unfair, what is fair is that according to this public image that she has of herself, if you are an adult with any logical frame of mind, you can figure out the rest. All you got to do is look at her. Look at her on the footage. 6, the goddess, the tall young lady with the white halter top and the Daisy Duke shorts. And this is who females are getting femininity advice from. A femininity coach. This is who they get relationship advice from. Look at Keita Rose, the big mouth pretty girl with a bunch of makeup and all this stuff on. And the girl behind her in the red, she's giving relationship advice. And a panel of other guys who are clowns too. And this is the problem with black people especially. Nobody can take you serious. You don't take yourself serious. Nobody respects you because you don't respect yourself. You have no values, you have no morals, and you pretend like your intuition doesn't work. You pretend like you don't have common sense. You pretend like you don't know better. So you deserve every bit of the curse that you are subjected to throughout your life and what you pass down on your children too. You deserve it. Because at this point, it's self-inflicted. It's deliberate. This is where you go to get advice. This is where you go to find answers for what's going on in your relationship. This is what you see as deep. Kendrick Lamar has a halftime show and you all caught up in that, oh, this is deep. Did you see the symbolism of this and that? But yet your dumb ass don't know what Doge is. Your dumb ass don't know what you said is. You still don't know what Title 42 was. You're majoring in the minors. You're concerned about the wrong things. Your energy is placed into the wrong things. Self-sabotage over and over and over again. Black people, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all are some sick people. You are some sick people.
Just told you a little while ago, these leaders, if they called leaders. This included Lena Horne. This included Dick Gregory. And this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Race has not been our issue for a very long time. Feminism has been our issue and all of the symptoms that came from it. Liberalism has been our issue and all of the symptoms that came from it. We are a stubborn people, a stiff-necked people. We don't listen. We don't honor our mothers and fathers, which are our ancestors. We refuse to. The road was already paved out. But instead, we decided to fall back to listening to females among us. And then we went astray, alienating the fathers and the men. And we betrayed our forefathers.
Who are trying to solve the problem. But you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for a friend.
We are people who pretend like we don't know, who pretend like we don't know better, who pretend like we don't understand. And we fall into the comfort of our mother's opinions, the comfort of females' opinions, of their views and their outlooks, of their misandry, of their degeneracy, of their lack of values and lack of moral, lack of honor for the mothers and fathers who went before them. We fall into that trap, we fall into that spell, time and time again, and the outcome continues to be the same. It's perpetual. Giving birth to bastard child after bastard child after bastard child, and we show up in the courts with all type of dramas and troubles. These transits are attempting to help save us from ourselves as it relates to how we constantly curse and burden ourselves over and over again from generation to generation, pretending like we don't know where it came from, pretending like we were not the creators of exactly what it is that we suffer. Oh, it's not me, it's the person over there. No, it's not me, it's those people. No, it's you, motherfucker, it's you. You're the one. You are helping to do this. And we can't take it forward into a new slate. We can't take it into the realms of new blessings coming in, because that is cross-contamination. A cleanup is taking place. And everybody's not going to make it. We're too infatuated with women, with pretty faces, with entertainment, with rappers, with artists, with singers, with poets, with movie stars, with luxury. Consumerism. We're too infatuated with Venus. The South Node Virgo is our saving chance. That's the number 9 vibration that is available to us so that we can utilize it to rescue ourselves from the spell and trance that Venus has us in, which is Luciferic. Lucifer has his spell over you, and he uses the woman to do it, to accomplish it. And from a global perspective, this is the same as the Jewish people who have the same power globally that she does nationally. She blocks and stops all good that takes place in America by the power of her mouth, her tongue that keeps running and talking and blabbering nonsense that destroys her own country, that misleads people. The beauty that's misused, misappropriated to subject others to spells and trance where they can't use the good sense that they got. We're fully vested in everything that's not helping us, everything that's not bettering us. Fully vested. Can't even trust each other for marriage. Can't even trust each other to create families from. Because the character is too shot. What are we doing? You got Serena Williams, halftime show, a grown-ass woman, crip walking. Not only is she a grown-ass woman, she's an accomplished talent, a legend, a living legend. And she reduces herself to an ideal of crip culture, gangster culture, hip-hop culture, while she has access to the heights of prestige and honor. But leave it to black people. They will glorify the worst and reduce you because they have nothing to say and nothing to contribute while you are in actual greatness. They don't even see you. But when you step down into the realms of misandry, dysfunction, filth, ignorance, foolishness, poetry, art, lust, vanity, you can't contain their excitement. Her own sister was killed by a crip gangster. Her own sister was killed by a crip gangster. Serena Williams' sister was allegedly killed. Allegedly, her sister was allegedly killed by a crip gangster. Why are you out there crip walking, glorifying the same culture, the same set, the same gang that took your sister from this earth? This is the sickness in black people, the curse in black people. Kendrick Lamar up there with bell bottoms on like he's some bad bitch. None of his words are intelligible. It's mumbling, a bunch of mumble jumble all together. Oh, you gotta know what he said. Well, if he wants you to understand what he said, he needs to stop being a fucking baby and be a man and articulate his words like real ones did. There are many out there who compare him to Tupac. Don't make me vomit. At least Tupac had the decency to say what he meant out loud, intelligibly, so that there's no mistake, no misunderstanding. I'm saying what I mean, and I'm saying it clearly to make sure you hear it because I intend for it to be heard. But this coward, Kendrick Lamar, you're going to ball your words up in ways where it can't even be intelligible except to us as black people. We can hear it. We understand it because that's who we are. We know the language. But why are you hiding? KRS-One didn't hide his words. Rakim didn't hide his words. Gangstar didn't hide his words. Tupac certainly didn't hide his words. To name a few revolutionaries through music medium. Don't hide. And how does any of what he's saying convert to a call to action? What is the call to action behind what he is saying in his music? There isn't one. Except that you want to glorify, black people want to glorify, oh, we was kings, we the Hebrews, we this and we that. I can't tell, motherfucker. I can't fucking tell. Make it obvious. Through your character, through your lifestyle, through the things that you tend to give your energy and focus to. Let's see it. Let's see the evidence. Let's see the proof in who you are. Let's see you stay married. Let's see you run a household that's happy, healthy, and functional. Let's see you be responsible. Give less bastards out into society. Let's see you get along. Let's see you trust each other. Let's see you accept yourself as being yourself. Less self-hatred. What's the call to action? A sick people. This is who you get advice from. So we have to go through all these things to self-correct, to heal, to change, to see the truth for what it is. We have to go through so much suffering to fix it. Because of the addiction to Venus, the self-sabotage through Venus. And that is the significance of the number 9 at the South Node through Virgo, is to separate you from those afflictions that you have and curses that you have with Venus. You're so addicted to Venus. You look at 6, the goddess, and your brain turns off. Oh, she's pretty. She got Daisy Dukes on. She got big titties in the halter top. Oh, everything that comes out her mouth is going to be the truth. This is what you do with Venus. You look at Keita Rose. Oh, she's entertaining. She has such personality. She's funny. Oh, she's so cute. And your brain turns off. You don't know how to keep your brain in exchange for your astral body. You take Venus and you will wipe out every part of yourself in order to save that Venus. You will sell your soul to keep that Venus going. You are a blind people. Big butt and a pretty smile, and you are hooked. The males and the females. Females like females more than males. Females are blind by the prettiness of females, the looks of females more than men are. And it's sick. And if you need a real reference, look at the Tonight's Conversation. It's a show. Tonight's Conversation is a show. And as usual, the same people fell for it. Everybody fell for it. Just like they did with the 19 Keys. Just like they did with the Billy Carsons and everybody else out there. Anywhere where there's women gathering around, there's a false prophet. There's false teachings. There's somebody who's playing them. You cannot follow women. You cannot follow females. You will fall off of a fucking cliff. Tonight's Conversation show is a perfect example of that. It's foolery, tomfoolery, niggatry. Niggas being niggas. Showing and proving how they became niggas. Over and over again. The Super Bowl halftime show. Oh, Kendrick, it was deep. Oh, it was so deep. Oh, the symbolism in it. Niggas will continue to show over and over again how they became niggas because they're dumb. They're dumb. And they don't want to be wise. They love the bliss of ignorance and they soak in it. They seek out people to amplify a voice to the world that they are somebody. We was kings. We was here first. We indigenous. But can't show up in the world married. Can't show up as a whole family, man, woman, and child. Can't stop abusing each other and abusing themselves. Can't stop giving bastard children to the world. Raising tyrants and terrorists to plague the communities with Pooh Shiesty masks on. Their daughters are little whores. They don't know themselves and don't want to know themselves. Everybody's responsible except for them. No accountability. They're in love with art, infatuated with art, and check the fuck out of reality. These are the type of curses that are in the blood, and we're being starved out in order to purge these curses, which is why we don't feel a forward motion. We don't feel a connection to a meaning or a theory in life in the present because these things have to be starved out. It has to be purged. The African American is key for every person in America to see a revolution, because the African American is the foundational culture developer, the one who gives culture to the world. If they are sick, everybody is sick and contaminated. And if the black woman is sick and contaminated, we go nowhere. And God help us, because they are in the worse shape than ever. Nobody is as low down as an African American woman except for Jewish people. She is as low as it gets. Cancer Mars is demanding a sense of emotional rest, emotional security. And when you look around in your life, you're unable to connect to a sense of emotional security and emotional rest from the sources that you have been used to. So it comes back to the story of Adam and Eve being naked in the garden, feeling exposed to the elements. And something can happen at any time, and I'm not good, I'm not well. Because of the retrogrades, this has been sought out. It's been dealt with. And it's Venus at Aries that's really bringing medicine, or should I say honey, to the medicine, so that it's digestible, so that we can receive the medicine. The healing is there, but I still feel pain. And Venus is helping us to work with those painful steps. Because at Aries, we have to go forward, and going forward is to build more resilience. It's like a new baby. A new baby is born, and the baby can't defend itself. Its immune system is weak. If something happens, it's just over with. But after you get sick enough times, your immune system develops and gets stronger. You go to school and you have arguments. You learn how to home in to the emotional and mental technology that you have, so that as you get older, you know how to master communication in good and in bad, without losing your cool, without losing yourself. You play the dozens in the back of the bus, where the object of the game is to diss the other person without breaking, to diss the other person without losing your composure, to diss the other person without crying or getting angry. And you master your emotions through that. Your temperament, your delivery, your strategic thought. Your immune system is the same. You get sick over and over again. You live in a place like India, New York City, your immune system is it's Titanic. It's Titanic. Because you're around so many other people's biochemical processes, viruses, bacterias and all these different things. Your body develops a resistance, immunity, a resilience that's not like a person who comes from a small country. It's very strong. So it's the same with Aries. You have to go through a timeline that exposes you to the same old stories, the same old pains. But that's only to develop the immune system of that timeline, to develop the strength, the technology of that timeline that you're going to need so that you can enjoy peace. How can you enjoy peace in your adulthood if you've never been in fights and arguments as a kid to where you develop these emotional technologies within the self? How can you feel secure as a man or as a woman and you never had a fist fight? You never had fights before or anything like that. So you walk around feeling very insecure and scared. And when a person is insecure and scared, they're more dangerous than a person who's been through many fights and they're secure with themselves because they know what they could do. The scared person is dangerous, not the person who's been in fights and wars. I'm gonna tell you that right now. The person who's been in shootouts, fights, wars, prison, all this other stuff, that person is far less dangerous than a person who's never been in a fight before. Because the person who's never been in a fight, fear is still commanding them. Fear is still telling them what to do. When somebody's been through real battles, they're very calm. And they're very calm around people because they feel secure. They know what they got. They know what they could do. They've been through it. They're seasoned. They're a veteran. Understand? They're more peaceful. They lead with love. They lead with peace. That's how you know a person could really get in that ass, because they lead with respect. They lead with peace. People who give everybody respect, give everybody love, give everybody peace. They have a calmness about themselves. That's a dangerous person. A scared person walks around with the face screwed up, mad at everybody, punching the wall, and all this other. That's a scared person. You say hi to them, they don't say nothing. These are scared people. And scared people are dangerous. It's not meant for us to walk ahead and be dangerous to ourselves and dangerous to other people. So we have to pass through these different simulations so that we could develop the technology emotionally, Cancer Mars. Develop the technology in the personality, Aries. Develop the technology in the subconscious, Pisces. Develop the technology in the instincts, Scorpio. So that we're not a danger to ourselves and danger to other people, being impulsive. Just blowing off at the lid. So these are critical points of the self that has to develop technology in the face of fear, resistance, challenge, loss, setback, failures, guilt, doubt, betrayal. We have to go through all these things. It's like testing all systems. It's like testing all systems. You build a structure that's supposed to hold 5,000 pounds, but you don't know if it really is ready until you put a load on it and test it. So we're getting load tested at all of these points. You hook up the chain, you hook up the nylon strap, you put the load on it, you lift it up in the air, and the engineers walk around and look at all the points of stress, the points of bearing, to make sure that it has a resilience to uphold the load, the resistance. And this is what's happening at Cancer. How is your inner child, your fourth house, emotional infrastructure, how are you dealing with it? Are you still going to resort to the generational curses that have been programmed in you, or have you evolved past, through, or above that, so that you resort to healthy means of reassuring that inner child? Do you still have to have other people to feel emotionally fulfilled? Because if not, when the pressure is on, you're going to need to go and get a stray cat and take care of the stray cat in order to have some self-esteem, which basically looks like you go and get people that's going to use you and abuse you so that you can feel good about yourself. And then you're going to feel resentful when the person is not reciprocating, but the person who you're doing all these things for, they didn't ask for that. You went and got a stray cat. You went and looked for a stray dog, and you bought the stray cat, stray dog in, and now you're mad because you got fleas, you got ringworm, you got all these different things, you got problems, and somebody's taking advantage of you. But guess what? You're the one who did that because you want so bad to be needed. You want to be motherly so bad. You want a baby to love you, but when it comes to wiping the baby's ass, or the baby grows up to be old enough to talk back and all this stuff, it's just so many different things that comes with that. You want to be loved so much, so you go and have a baby, but the problems that come with the baby stresses you out. It wears you out. Through Cancer, that's what we've been doing. Through Cancer, we have been reaching out for self-sabotage. We have been volunteering our energy, our resources, our emotional availability for people in situations that's not going to reciprocate it simply because we're desperate for the emotional validation for the inner child. So we're learning how to stop doing that. To stop doing things that wasn't warranted for you to do, that nobody even fucking asked you to do, but here you are crying about it because you're not getting the reaction or response that you think you should get. But nobody told you to go get that stray dog, stray cat. Nobody told you to pop out that titty for that person to suckle on, and now it's a 4-year-old baby still sucking breast milk. You decided to do that. You're walking around with 5 and 6 and 7-year-old babies on your titties. Figuratively. That's what's going on at Cancer Mars. So before that you get your blessing, you have to make sure that these points of resilience, these points of resistance, you have to make sure that these points that transfer load, that bears load, can handle it. Because why would you get your blessing and you find out that these points are not handling the stress? It can't take it. It keeps resorting back to the self-destructive algorithms that it was plagued with before. Now guess what? You blew your blessing and you ain't getting another one like it. You blew your blessing. So this is why you need to pay attention to where you at and what the fuck is going on. Get your head out your ass. Pay attention. How are you doing with these things? Are you still going back to the addictions? Are you still doing the same dumbass shit that you've been doing? Have you learned yet? You still crying about things that you hit yourself in the face and then cry. You shoot yourself in the foot and then say, oh, why did that? Oh, who did that? That was, I'm gonna do it again. Head ass niggas. What are we doing? These are point load tests. Scorpio. All the water signs have point load tests too. Scorpio. How's your instincts? Scorpio is having massive. Scorpio is like this. As a carpenter, as a union carpenter, I've been all over the United States at different power plants, power companies. You know, that literally it's facilities that generates power for the whole city. Okay. And these power plants, they look like, you know, it's like a big car engine and you're shrunk down to the size of an ant and you're put inside that car engine. That's what these power plants look like on the inside, okay? It looks like a big, giant power car engine. It's huge, massive structures and systems and, metal and steel and iron parts up in there. You know, it's just massive, mind-blowing. And they have to have what's called a shutdown or outage, okay? The shutdown and the outage, they turn off all running systems, rather it's from coal or rather it's from natural gas. They have to shut down the system. They have to run off of a generator pretty much to keep the city going, you know, for a time, okay? And it could be for 3 weeks. It could be for 3 months. It could be for six weeks, you know, sometimes, you know, they'll shut down the whole side of a plant for a whole year. I've been at places for 2 years, you know, Plant Vogel in Georgia, and Plant Vogel in, damn, what's that part of Georgia? Savannah? Is it Savannah? No, it wasn't Savannah. Augusta. Plant Vogel in Augusta, Georgia, nuclear power plant. You know, I've been out there for 2 whole years, okay? Big old nuclear power plant. And when they shut these places down, you have to take parts out and clean it. You have to take parts out and finish it. What I mean by finish it is you have to resurface certain things. You have what's called boiler makers, millwrights, workers up in there, all types of technicians, welders, okay? Every trade you can imagine is there. Scaffold builders, you know, iron workers, everything, painters, and you have to gut out the whole entire system, put new wiring, everything. That's what's going on at Scorpio. It's like a big power plant that's shut down so that the amygdala can be reprogrammed, the fight or flight center, so that our instincts can be recalibrated. All right? Our instincts and our amygdala through the instincts, Scorpio, it has to be recalibrated so that we can tolerate, process through, manage higher loads of resilience, okay? We're being recalibrated for higher capacity of resilience. Because what's ahead, we're going to need to be able to show up with greater depth of resilience. Resilience comes from Scorpio. It comes from Scorpio. Scorpio is the do or die. Scorpio is the bomb first. Scorpio is, I don't need to get you today. I'll get you in 7 years when you thought it was over. Scorpio is, I don't pull in, I back in. And I watch everything before I even make a move. Scorpio is war ready. That's the stealthy ninja. Understand? So that's your military base of the cosmic self, Scorpio. That's where your military base is at. So whatever house that you have Scorpio, your military base is set up in that house. So when you're in that house, that's where you strategize from. That's where you have the depth consultation at. That's where you seek the counsel of your instincts. That's where you regenerate resilience. Understand? So Taurus is what has the actual story of your life that materializes. Come on, listen to me. Taurus has the story of your life that actually materializes into a solid picture, a solid theme where you can touch, smell, feel the actual story. That's the only thing missing right now. Everything else is set to live out this story after all this testing of the infrastructures that I'm describing. But Uranus is the one who releases the physical, tangible aspect of the storyline, where you're living in that physical reality. But if you don't go through all these testing systems, you will fuck it up. You'll spoil it, you'll ruin it, you'll curse it, you'll plague it, you'll mess it up. You're getting competence right now. You're getting training so that you can trust yourself. Trust, look at the key words. Trust goes back where, Scorpio? Come on, pay attention. Sit up straight. Pay attention. Pay attention. Sit up straight. Pay attention. Come on, man. Uranus is what releases the timeline that keeps you most authentic to the core self. Uranus. And right now, Uranus is governing the physical, tangible timeline of your life, where the reality around you that you see, feel, experience physically, it answers back to you. It makes sense to you that yes, I was destined to be here. I was destined to do this. I was destined to be in this situation. This makes sense. Uranus is the one that holds that. Shango, Oba Shango, King Shango is holding that story. He's holding it. And he's the one that makes sure that that story, that it makes sense to your entire soul journey, not just this lifetime of you being born in the 80s, 70s, 90s, 60s, 50s, whatever time that you was born. Over many lifetimes, the story is consistent because of Shango. Over many lifetimes. And when he starts that story, he starts you ahead. Ahead. When he starts you ahead, it's like you're a futuristic. It puts you in a futuristic advantage. A futuristic advantage. Because all of these testing systems that's going on, such as I named that Cancer, Scorpio, Libra, where we had to learn to stop being codependent little whores, little streetwalkers that's always worried about what other people got to say. Yes, girl. Oh, he dusty. And you program your life according to what the fuck other people are saying. And when you follow them in their life more fucked up than yours is. And you look at Pisces, the subconscious, learning to have discipline, learning to have accountability, learning to have character, learning to have obedience so that you do not fall victim to the demons of the 12th house that's trying to get you to live out your life to their lusts, the Ahrimanic, the Luciferic, the shadows, the lack of light. But to actually live out what you know from spirit, Pisces, love, compassion, understanding, that illuminates all of your thoughts, that illuminates your impulses. This is illumination of impulses, and illumination are angels. This is to allow angels to plague your thoughts, to take over your thoughts, and not demons, not shadows. Angels, illumination. And when angels serve the orishas, the impulses of the physics, now you're creating and producing that which reflects the kingdom of heaven in your life and in others, and it leads with love, compassion, understanding, not fear, guilt, shame, gluttony, addiction, hate, separation, so on and so forth. So karma has to be there to teach you how to undo this, how to have boundaries so that you're not bitter, resentful, and talking shit, but yet you help co-create it. So that you're not walking around pretending like you don't know you co-created that. Because the Yas Girl crowd at Libra, they will help you all day to feel like the victim. They will help you all day to be the victim. But they will not help you to see that you are empowered through accountability, through boundaries, through self-respect, through authority of the decisions and consent that you're aware of, obedience to the things that you suffered. No, they're not going to help you with that. And this is why you got to stop listening to females. Even if you're a female, stop listening to females. Even if you're a female, stop listening to females. Uranus squaring Leo. That square is, Leo is where that full moon is saying, I can't take any more of this life of not being able to express myself, to find a place to channel my authentic expression. I feel dead. I'm not even, it's like not even worth living. Like, what are we doing here? And it's ending the tolerance for that. It's ending the desire to continue pretending that you want to be there. Pretending like you're where you want to be, because you're not. It's breaking that. It's the breaking point of that. And at the same time where this intensity comes, Shango is going to open up the physical story, the physical storyline of Taurus. It works hand in hand. But you can't forget what you were learning. Point load tests. You put 5,000 pounds on the chain because you have to test the infrastructure to make sure that it's strong enough, resilient enough to handle the load, right? So let's apply this same concept to what was the retrograde Jupiter at Gemini. When the pressure is on, are you going to rely on CNN to interpret for you what's happening, or are you going to trust your intuition, North Node, Neptune? Or are you going to learn to trust spirit? Are you going to learn how to trust your clairvoyance? Are you able to see the unity in all things? Are you able to finally learn how to dissolve the form of things so that you are not so easily deceived, brainwashed, walking around so fucking dumb? Oh, they said this on CNN, so I guess it must be right. Well, all the girls girls are saying it, so they're crying on TV. So, if a girl is crying, it must be true. Sadly mistaken. Oh, because a female is crying, it must be true. Lord have mercy. God help you if you think that's if you think that's the truth. God help you. You put a cone on your head, go stand in the corner, pick your ass and eat your boogers. No different, because that's how slow you are. If you haven't learned that by now, believe it or not, it's a lot of motherfuckers out here who lost in the sauce. I'm talking about lick the window and pick your boogers for real. It's some slow motherfuckers in this world. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God, there's some slow motherfuckers in this world, man. I swear to God, nigga. This shit's sad. It's fucking sad. Uranus at Taurus. Uranus is what brings revelation from heaven, from on high. You're not able to predict Uranus. You're not able to home in on, oh, my spidey sense is tingling. I think I know what it is. I think I got an idea what's going to happen. I can feel it. I can sense it. You ain't sensing Uranus. No, you ain't. No, you're not. Nobody knows what Uranus is going to do. And you will never know. Shango strikes with that bolt of lightning from heaven. What comes from heaven, you do not know. You don't have access to it. You're not going to tap in on some clairvoyance. You're not going to tap in on some vision. No, you're not. Uranus can give you vision, but the specific context that I'm putting this to is, okay, which you not knowing, is when Uranus makes an executive decision, you don't get to know. When Uranus gives you revelation, yes, you're knowing from heaven something that is not known here in earth. So when you articulate it, express it, or show it, reveal it, teach it, say it, it looks weird, it sounds crazy, people think you're loony, and all this other stuff. Because it's coming from Uranus, it's coming from the future. Understand? Okay? And so, as far as Taurus, it's not something you can predict. So, where does Taurus have a house algorithm for you in your natal birth chart? Where is Taurus at in your natal birth chart? In that place of your life, Uranus is going to make executive decisions starting from today forward. There's going to be an executive decision that Uranus is going to make from between now and the next 6 months, okay? Something is going to take place in that area that's going to materialize in the physical. A reality that you finally identify and make sense with so that Leo can have full expression. And during Leo season is when it's going to fully fill in. During Leo season. Understand that. The last Leo season is what you were working to come out of as identifying with. The new Leo season is when you're going to start fully identifying with that, because it has to make sense gradually. Understand? So anyway, hopefully this was a fair enough explanation to where we can understand what that's going on here. Things a little shoddy, but listen, Mercury coming into Pisces, it's gonna flip. Okay? The physical realm is going to be confusing, but the spirit realm is going to be clarified. It's gonna reverse when Mercury gets in Pisces. So things are going to be confusing in the physical, but from the spiritual and clairvoyant standpoint, you're going to make sense of what's going on from a spiritual clairvoyant standpoint, and it's going to harmonize so that you can make sense of what Uranus is doing. It's meant to go this way. So remember, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. It's ethereal, okay? So when Mercury goes into Pisces, you're able to get a glimpse from the spirit realm of what Shango intends by what he's about to do. And it has to go this way because Shango or Uranus can do something that shocks the hell out of you. You get scared and you fuck things up. With Mercury being there, it helps you to understand what's happening so that you can align with what's happening. because you're not going to understand it from the physical perspective. You're only going to understand it from the spiritual perspective. And Mercury is going to help clarify all of that from a spiritual perspective. There's fogginess right now, so Mercury has to go in and clear out some of the fog, clarify what's happening spiritually, because Neptune is right at the North Node. It's foggy. Nobody can see through that. You can't see through that. It's dissolving the timeline of the past, separating it from the timeline of the present. Understand?